Hey, I think we're live. Give it a couple minutes, see if anyone comes in. Oopsie, I apologize. I was actually going through email checking real quick, trying to get some photos up from some people that emailed. And you're gonna bother me today, aren't you? Come here, say hi. Come on. Little girl up a little later than usual, so I'm behind a little bit. 8:35, not too far. Had a few people email this week. Somebody emailed just a little bit ago. Won't show any emails, names, anything, but guess can't share the pictures. There's nothing that I can see that looks to be too personal or anything. It's just stuff people wanted to share, so we'll just talk about it. One of them is actually kind of a good idea. Uh, I've got because of a viewer sent something in. Now, Trixie. Um, I will say I'll try to keep this to an hour or less, hopefully, just because I've got a lot to do yet tonight. I've been working on Linux servers, and it's going to be a multi-week project I got going on, so I do need to dedicate some time to that. But I will give a few extra minutes for some people to come in. How's it going, Andrew? Hope everybody's having a good Friday evening, good weekend to start to come. Appreciate the people that went to the community tab and answered the question on the poll on what day would be best for a live Q&A. Oh, here's the other one now. Whether it's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So if you haven't taken that poll or hit the, chosen, given your option, when you get a chance, go to the community page, community tab, I think, and give me your input on that so I know. Hands down, Friday was the best option that was coming in. At last I knew 350 or so people took the poll, and Friday was the best day. So I'm making a good concerted effort to get on here today. Okay, you guys are bothering me. Get down. How's it going, Super Roofer? Doing good, you? Got 10 people coming in. We'll get started here in just a minute. No crazy format to this. I'm just going to go through some of the pictures that I've got, try to answer some questions for a few people. Keep my eye on chat if you guys got any questions there. You guys are going to bother me. I had them in the other room, but they were going crazy. You got to wake up the little one. The black one's getting her butt kicked. Pippi, Trixie. Alright. A couple of people that emailed, hopefully you'll join in here. And if not, hopefully I can answer your questions. And you just have to watch it back later. Alright, just because this was one of the older emails that came in, let me shrink me down a little bit. There, you think I'm still on screen, but not covering it too much. This was sent in by a viewer. Let me see here. Get back here. I got too much open. Russell sent this one in. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate it. Believe I answered you back. Yes, I did. But thank you for the photos. It actually led me to come up with something here. I apologize if they're too loud. Hang on a minute. Stop. Come here. You can jump up here. Come here. Lay down. Lay down. I doubt that's gonna last. They're gonna annoy me. So he was saying some of the crazy stuff that he sees, and this, yeah, it's a little crazy. I have seen cable satellite companies run their coax right through a roof, drill a hole, and just caulk it. It's never good. I've not seen one done like this before. Let me bring up this other photo here. Whoopsie. Download that. Trying to be careful so I don't give away people's emails up on the screen up here. This is the other picture he took. Right around this ring right here is kind of a high traffic area for water to flow down. I'm gonna split these two up. Give me a minute. They're like little kids. You gotta split them apart. Get out of there. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm not prepared. This white dog likes to reach under the desk and grab shoes and run away. This already turned out to be a disaster. So anyway, the box vent here, I hope that they had actually put this hole in the low side. It does appear to be the low side, but I don't know. Well, looking at the first photo, yes, it did. But the water hits the box vent, runs down around. It's just a horrible way of doing it, where they actually punctured this right there. If they would have gone over and reached down through, it would have been a much better option. But whatever. Thank you to Russell for sharing these two photos. He didn't really have any questions, just some stuff he thought was interesting. Wanted to send them over to me. Let me close that out. Got another email that came in. Sorry, my email's acting a little finicky today. Wrong one. Ryan, how did I find my first few customers? Facebook page, yard signs, t-shirts, logos, and truck. All the above right there you just mentioned. It just took a while. Friends and family, people they know. It takes some time to get out there. Um, just be a go-getter. You get storm damage, go out, make little door knockers. One little tip something I did you didn't mention there is use like a Word file, put your logo, put some information around it, keep it simple, keep it sweet. Contact info. There's an option in there you can actually turn the phone number and paste them across the bottom, or it prints sideways at the bottom. You just snip it with scissors, tack it up at gas station, bulletin boards, public locations. Try to get permission first, otherwise you're going to piss people off. And it's real easy for them just to tear and take away. That's something that worked too. I actually got a lot of business from one particular gas station in Sheridan, Indiana, where people just plucked them off there constantly. That's something I remember doing in the early days, and that worked pretty good. Hopefully that helps you. Here we go. This person does not want to be named, it looks and appears, but had some questions. Let me go back to it in order here. Okay, she's got two photos. Let me download these real quick. All right, there we go. So for the most part in frame there. And her question was referring to the chimney cap here. Let me go back up to it. Thank you for watching the channel. Appreciate it. But she was a question. Do roofers do the chimney pans, the top chimney caps here? Some may, some maybe not. I can't say for all. I'm sure if they don't, they can put you in touch with somebody that does. Even if they don't do it, they might say they do and just subcontract that part out. I personally would recommend getting in touch with a local sheet metal company, fabricator in your area. There's a place here in Kokomo called Graves Sheet Metal. That's who I usually recommend. They can do custom metal of anything you need, and that's what we do. I don't have the time to go back and custom bend things like that unless it's some rare special occasion. I've got a brake that can do it, but it's something I don't do every day. I just send it over to the people that do. It was one of her questions. And then she has another. Oh wait, I think she had another question up here. Oh, she wanted to know when it comes to the like B-vent flue pipes and things like that, the metal stuff. When they look rusty, what do they do to metal reference heaters, like a hot water heater vent pipe and things? It depends, to answer your question, Susan. If the pipes are in decent shape, we do usually paint them just to prolong the life of them. We do use a good quality Rust-Oleum paint. Um, Sometimes I've used some in a pinch from our suppliers by GSL. It's a pretty pricey paint, so I'm not a big fan of using it. It seems good. If they're really rusty, don't paint it, just replace it. Most HVAC companies will not sell just anything to any homeowner. Sometimes you can get stuff to box stores, vent flue pipes things, but they're not going to do anything that requires a license. Typically, just replacing the vents aren't that big of a deal, but it can get kind of tricky between the brands. When you start mixing brands, they don't want to fit together. So check with a HVAC company in your area, or a reputable roofing company might be able to do that for you. And I will say, if we do replace them brand new, we don't paint them because they do have a nasty residue oil coating on them, and that can actually the paint will just flake off over time. She had another question kind of regarding that. Let me bring this one up here. You're annoying, go away. All right, she said in here she can see light coming in through the attic around the pipe. What needs to be done here? So I can't really see exactly. Maybe, oh, my cursor's on the wrong thing. Maybe a little light shining through here. I don't know. It's hard because I'm just looking at the photo. I can't change angles and dimension. Um, if there is, that's the low side, so I don't know if the flanges come up a little bit. I don't know if she's actually seeing light right up around the pipe. Go away. You're annoying. I'm done with you. Go. Ah. There's a little rain collar, I call it, that slides down that if that was shoved up by the roofer, because I've seen that a lot where the roofers need to lift that to get into it, it can push that up and there's a jagged cut from the actual flange itself, the pipe collar part, the angle you can, they typically are from a low slope up to a 612 and then from a 612 to a 1212. It has a much higher back on it. But to put those in, you do need to trim those. So if they need to shove it up, it's common to lift that ring collar up, the little sleeve that slides down over it. And if they don't, water can shine, splatter back up and light will shine through. So it could be that, just shove it down in that case and seal it. Um, I did a video, I think it's public, I don't know, where somebody shoved the B-vent flue pipe right through the roof deck, cut it with like a hole saw and shoved it through. Absolute no. You do need to have, in most areas, I believe it's 2-inch clearance between your wood, your combustible wood, and this pipe because they do get hot. So just point that out too. If you're a DIYer and you're looking at doing it, check your local county codes, state codes. You do need to keep wood away from your B-vent flue pipes so they get hot. Let me check my email one more time, see if anything else came in. No, it didn't look like anything else came in. Actually, there was another one that's old. I don't think I showed it. Just some guy's work. Where's the download? There we go. He sent several photos in. Let me go back. Give Luis. He sent several photos. I'll pull up a couple of them. We were talking about this being really sloppy, and at first glance on my cell phone screen, it looked like maybe a raccoon had tore into it because I see it a lot here, but now looking on my laptop screen, this is a nice round curve cut right here, and then right here is a nice straight line. So I'm going to rule out the raccoon, and if I emailed back, yes, I did. It looks pretty horrible. Looks right. Yeah, so actually, Luis, I need to give you a little bit of an apology. I saw this on my little bitty phone screen. That doesn't necessarily look like a raccoon did that. That's cut sloppy. And the wood underneath doesn't appear to have any vapor barrier, black paper, synthetic, nothing. Um, Looks old and weathered, like it's been there for a while. Yeah, it just looks like a bad install. Hey, they did keep their nails up and in a little bit. That's good. It's a bright, positive. Glance through chat here real quick. Move some things over. Oh, one other one I just gotta show. Tar. I hate tar. I did a short today on tar. I cannot stand tar. There's so many other options. So many other options. This is horrible. Tar is like a high maintenance girlfriend. You just can never. I'm just gonna stop right there. That's bad. Yeah, don't use tar. Let's see if there's anything else here real quick. Oh, some of the work he did actually looked pretty good. So you got some nice metal stuff going on. And we'll show another one. I don't see anything in here. Yeah, no names, no addresses. Looks like they're doing some really good standing seam. Everything looks nice and clean. Can't remember where he said he was out of. Let me bring up another one. This one looks pretty good. So I'm not here again. I can't like change my angle and view around this. Oh, sorry, his truck's kind of in the, oh, good, my screen's covering his truck. Okay. Um, I don't have a whole lot to go off of. From what I can see, it looks pretty good, but one of my little pet peeves is when somebody's doing metal, and they're not trying to even factor in like when you're changing facets and you're starting another run and they just start it wherever and the ribs don't line up. It bothers me. I like to try to keep them from side to side looking good and clean and uniform, same from a hip side. So that there appears to be lined up pretty good. It looks like it could be off a little bit, but it just might be because there's a slight bigger gap right there. So I'm not going to critique the hell out of it. I mean, from what I can see, it looks good. Barley hops. I didn't see anything come in. If you can get it to me quick, I will pull it up here. Maybe we'll glance through here real quick. Um, LED. Thanks for taking questions. If you need to redo a roof and it also needs a foundation issue, well, small house, does it matter what you do first? If you're gonna do a foundation issue to any extent, I'd recommend doing that first, but depending upon the situation, it may not be necessary. I mean, I'm not there to see what you got going on, but if you do need to lift some part of your roof, a supporting wall, it's gonna lift it. It's a good idea to get that done before you do your new roof because it can shift things and cause nails and wood to pop and buckle. So I'd recommend doing that first. But now, like here at my house, I have a foundation issue. I knew 15 years ago when I bought the place. Um, I'm pretty confident I know we can put a temporary supporting wall in there, dig down around the outside, take the center block wall out, rebuild it, and then backfill and everything without affecting the roof. It just depends. Every situation can be a little different. We did a roof, oh, over a year ago. Actually, I need to go back and check on that too because it was getting a little late in the season when the guy came in behind me and actually lifted the porch. It wasn't a house, it was a porch, but the roof lifted. So it could throw things off. 22-year-old roof in a high wind area, one row blew off. So it still does, yeah, I need a roof soon. Can you clarify? Go away. I guess you got more questions. Let me read through them here. More comments to re-nail autocorrect. Okay. Any roofing companies I know in the Toledo area? No, I don't. I don't necessarily know anyone. I guess, I would point you towards. I'm sorry, this is really annoying. She's licking my leg. Check with Dmitry Lipinski's channel, Storm Group, Roofing or Roofing Insights. He's got a couple, and he has a directory he's putting together to compete with like not Angie's List, but Home Advisor, Thumbtack, some of those others. And he claims to personally vet these companies and back up to $25,000 himself, I believe. So if something goes bad and they don't take care of it, he will take care of it up to that amount. So check that. That's the best info I can give you because I'm not from that area. Let me get back to the other guy's question here. Does the color of roof affect the longevity at all versus lighter color and reflect heat? No, actually, I was just talking to a customer earlier today about this. Yes and no, there's some truth to that. Every roof is going to get hot. If you've ever been on a roof and you have a light colored gray, like maybe an estate gray or an onyx black, oak ridge shingle, they're both going to get hot enough to burn you on a hot sunny day. There's only so much mass to them. The color does not change the mass. So when they get so hot, they're going to retain that mass. If the sun goes out equal times, they're going to cool off in the same time. The only factors would be if something's hitting it, if you got more wind. But in a perfect environment, two colored roofs, the lighter colors will reflect some heat, but they will eventually get hot. The mass will get hot, and it's going to take the same time for any color roof. Quit! Get off of me! For the mass to cool off. So when you have more roofing layers, it doesn't do you any good. It actually is bad. I even had somebody question in the past that I was dumb, that more layers would give you more insulation, and that's totally false. It's not good. Look up how insulation works to that guy. I'm getting sidetracked and lost here. Um, So wait, do we think prices will come down? Prices have come down a little bit on some things, but not a lot. I have seen prices come down tremendously on lumber, very little bit on metal products like edge metal, apron, things like that, not a ton. Shingle, petroleum stuff, I've never seen it come down in my almost 20 years. It goes up, it has never come down. So I don't think so. Hey, stop. Um, Barley hop. Somebody was telling me about a site that does that too. I can't remember. Do you recall or do you know what website you're talking about? I don't get into a lot of that stuff, but if you need to know a date of loss, that is a pretty good website. As long as it's not like Hail Trace and some of those others where they charge you outrageous numbers. Nate, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's what I'm here for, trying to share what I can. Um, the videos seem to be doing good. I always try to tell myself I can do one roof, one repair, or help one family at a time. But out here, it's the channel's gaining some traction. So if it can help people, that's what I'm out there doing it for. Because YouTube has helped me a ton. I've learned so much from YouTube. By the way, I got this sitting over here. Anyone else got a good favorite drink out on this nice Friday night? Uh, Angry Orchard hard cider tonight. Now you're gonna try and drink my beer. Back up. Oh, sorry, I'm just not in a good flow today. I tried to be a little bit more prepared, even get some photos, but sorry. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging today. Okay, back to the shingle blowing out. 6 shingles, they were flapping. Um, if you don't get those 6 shingles taken care of, even if they're not blown away, if the seal strip is compromised and you don't take some precaution to get that sealed down or fixed, replaced, repaired, whatever, you could have them blow up, causing more damage or worse, water getting in. Quit licking me. Go away. I need to just block you off. Let me do this. There. How you like that? Um, I would really recommend if it's something you're planning on doing, be safe, don't get hurt, but get up there and repair them. If they're damaged and compromised, remove them. But yes, they need to be nailed off. They need to be sealed down. I don't know what climate you're in, what the temperatures are. Dancing alone W rentals. Huh. You must be a realtor, real estate guy. Are you serious? Shut up. All right, I'm gonna try to let this one out to go sit with the other one. I'll be right back. Come on, let's go. Okay. Where's my stuff at here? There we go. I'm back. I apologize, guys. I'll eventually get the hang of this live stuff. Uh, Devin, what's my favorite shingle to use? I really like Malarkey. Malarkey's been really good, but it's really gotten pricey. Jared, if you're watching, sorry. So I guess let me elaborate why I like Malarkey. On top of the fact that their entire line is an SBS polymer modified shingle, they have a nice tapered shim where the shingles overlap, which isn't too crucial on steeper roofs, but the lower slope it is nice. And the fact that it overlaps so much, about an inch and a quarter, you're almost guaranteed to get the common bond. So it's really good on top of the green issues or green things they have with it. What kind of sealant do I use, Tommy? GSL brand stuff. Typically, I use 2300 crystal clear on any of the window siding type stuff I need to do. And then for the roof application stuff, whether it's rubber, shingle, metal, I've come to find that it bonds really well, stays elasticy, and that's going to be the GSL brand 4500. It only comes in two colors, though, black and white. So that's usually like the spot the nails are behind flashing things, stuff you don't typically see. Spotted cow beer from New. Huh. Guinness? That sounds kind of good right now. 123 ABC reviews. That's a unique username you got there. Is that you, Jacob? Early hops. Yeah, send me over some bad photos. I'll even save you the trouble because I don't remember my email. Actually, I had to type it on the new computer here. Grand Roofing Inc. Kokomo at gmail.com. I believe is it. LED. Yeah, I did show them in the beginning, but they got really annoying, so they're in the other room. Two dogs, a little white, not toy miniature, I don't know, like a 15-pound poodle, and the black one too. They're annoying. Mhm. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just getting caught up on the comments here. You did fix it, but you assume that as an indication of further issues to come. Not necessarily. Um, it could have been whoever installed it. I mean, most roofing crews, it's not one guy, there's several guys. So if one guy's technique of nailing is bad, he's careless, they're high, wherever he laid shingles, it could be an issue. So if it's a bigger section and you see them all developing on like a left side, a right side, a low side, a high side, it could be typically where a guy's building the lead up and a guy's following, he's going to run the lower edge out, or vice versa, the guy building the lead, or maybe it's just the lower third, mid third, or top third. It could be three guys running over. You can kind of see a pattern in it. Um, or if it's one whole section and not others, also the section that's facing the wind. So probably a bad install. Or if it's Tamco, it's just never going to seal down. Do you know the brand of it and how old it is? Oh, here, somebody want to see my dog again. Here, come here. Come on, jump. This one is Trixie. Say hi. You want to come get her? You can have her. Okay, go away. The other one's Pippi. Ooh, focus. What happened to the... All right, come on. I don't know. Has it always been that blurry? I don't know what's going on here. It's clear there. I don't know what's going on with my setting. Check my email. Mama. Meme. I'm not sure, but hey, long time viewer. How you doing? Give me a minute. I don't know where that screen went. Ooh. Who sent this? Go back. Some of these pictures look familiar. Oh, this elusive roof leak. Okay, Mark. All right. I do remember you sent me some pictures and I got busy and I apologize. That email is buried. Let me look through these real quick. Let me glance over at chat. Mark, are they Still, you got the leak still going on? Let me read your message here. Oh, you did find it. You figured it out last fall. Okay, yeah, the photos look a lot better than I recall in the past. So looking at this, I see one over. Do you care if I share them or no? I mean, I can pull them up and talk about it now. Yeah, Solar Seal I've heard is really good. I've never used it, or not used much of it, I guess I should say. Um, what I would recommend for an area like that, there's two materials that I've used a lot. I just don't like dead pockets and flats in general, but if you need to, the cheaper option is going to be a flat roof roll roofing. A little more costly is going to be rubber, which is what I typically use because I've just known how to use it. I've used it a long time. Oh, the dog did it. Am I still blurry? Yeah, I'm still blurry. I wonder if I may bring up OBS software real quick. You're gonna see something go dead here for a second. I don't think it'll cut the stream out though. Hmm, still not fixed. I'm gonna unplug the camera and plug it back in. I don't think this will kill the stream. If it does, I will bring it back up. Let me just fix this for you guys. I hope it'll do it. Hmm, did it kill the stream? Anyone still here? Sounds like the audio's getting out. Can anyone hear me? If you could, put yes in chat. Oh, what is going on now? Can you hear me? Okay, it looks like I'm still here. Let me go back to the USB cam real quick. No, I apologize for the trouble here. Why is my... Okay, you can hear me, but is there any picture of me? Try this again. Daggone, sorry guys, I think I screwed up the video link here. I can't get my video up. I apologize, people. I'm having some technical difficulties. There we go. I apologize. I was starting to sweat there for a minute. Am I back up? Okay, video good? It's moving on my screen. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right, let me get back to where I was here. Oh, don't want this. I want this. Okay. Mark, did you say it was okay to share those? Oh, you said okay. It's okay to share. Okay, cool. Let's So I'll go through a couple photos for reference. I think the issue is going to be right up here, and then over this doorway. We'll go to the next picture. Yeah, so this must have been the door where there's kind of some water coming in. What is your problem now? Go away. And got another one. Looking up here in this area is probably my bet going to be the issue. There's a little bit of a soffit overhang coming down the wall here, so I don't think that's a problem. Let me move my screen over more. There we go. And a close-up of the valley. So I got an open cut valley. Again, I'm not there just to jump around and move around and look at various things, but I'm gonna really be concerned right here in this area and however they cut the shingles just behind the gutter where the fascia board comes into the roof. I can't see any of that. That's typically the most common area I see where things go wrong. Get down. Oh, these are never like this. Ugh. Go back. Boom, here we go. An even better close up. All right. This looks like a little classic decorative cut piece because when they put the valley in and they cut the shingle here, my bet is there was nothing underlying this. If it were me, I would have taken this shingle here and run it clear across, given the way it looks if I'm there installing it. I don't want to see a big gap here. But then that way you are bringing your metal down on top of everything. I also would have shoved the metal down a little bit farther because if you follow this factory cut edge, it's going to come short right here, which water could come under this edge off of the metal, but not make it quite onto your apron. And then by that point, it's coming in anywhere. I also see a big gaping hole right here. It looks like a big shadow. I don't see any flashing in here. The gutter is rammed in pretty tight right here, causing water that's flowing off of this at a high rate coming down the valley, splattering up everywhere on here. Over time, you're going to get debris build up. I would try to do something with removing that, shorten it, or lifting it. But this right here looks to be the biggest issue, missing flashing even. So a few things. Yeah, that's what it looked like. Um, I can't tell for sure, but it looks like it needs flashing here. I would shorten the gutter and push it away, something with that. The metal should have hung down longer, farther, and have it cut and trimmed, overhanging a little bit. Also, hope they put some ice and water or something up under and sandwich the metal. And also, since it is a open cut valley, just being cautious of the tops of the corners. You got another photo? Let me go to another photo here. Okay, here's another one closer up. I don't see anything done to that one. Oh, here we go. Got another one coming in. Oh, yeah, that kind of help out divert the majority of the water. Can you clarify on the photo before, was there no flashing up under the fascia board right there? And then also exactly where I was pointing, water coming in off the W valley being too short and going up under your apron. Nice quick fix. Get the job done and used a nice choice of material, copper. You can do that and clean that up a little bit more if you wanted by tucking this piece, oh, I'm up on my other screen, taking this piece here and tucking it under this row of shingles. Um, Depending upon how far it needs to come down, you can actually cut a web to it. And then this, you can actually keep it tucked up under far under your W valley over your apron and bend it down so it's a little more hidden, but still channels everything out off if you want to clean it up cosmetically a little bit. Let me see. I feel like I missed some stuff in here. Cody4, you can email them to the email that's on the About page. On the Grand Roofing YouTube page, there's an About tab to give you the email address. I believe it is Grand Roofing Inc. Kokomo at gmail.com. I don't check it regularly. I'm trying to get better at it. Um, I try to at least check it once a week, so if I don't reply right away, that's why. And I will say at some point this is probably going to get out of control where I get too many emails and I'll have to have somebody help me with it or may not be able to keep up with it. But for right now, I think I can handle it. Let's see if there's any more photos. Looks like a couple more photo angles. Looks like up underneath there might be a little kick up catching the water and running it out. Oh yeah, here we go. There's more photos. So right up here, you can see where the kick up is, catching it and diverting it out away from that corner. Oh, a nice action shot even. Boy, you got a lot of photos in here. Thank you. Nice. Were you on the roof during that in the rain? Oh, your gutters even look copper. Are they copper gutters or are they just copper colored? Devin, what's my opinion on putting on a second layer rather than tearing off the old roof? Definitely. I would highly encourage and recommend tear off first. Aluminum musket color. Nice. Still looks good from this angle. Maybe it's just the reflection coming off the copper in the water. It looks like it could be there. I'm on my other screen up here, and you guys, I keep forgetting you can't even see it right here. Um, I talked about multiple roof layers earlier in the live stream, Devin. I don't know if you're in on that point with the amount of mass, but more so not just that, but if somebody is not paying attention and they do a roof over for you, they quote it, you're happy with it, and they do it, and they don't remove or tuck under new all your flashing anywhere on the house, whether it's a wall, pipe, boot, box vent, chimney, doesn't matter. You need to tuck under the flashing. All too often, people don't do it, and it will leave you with a nightmare. See, there might even be more photos. No, that's it. All right, where are we on time? 9:17. Any other emails real quick? Do need to wind down, like I said earlier. I do need to get busy on my servers. That roof was 15 layers and just started to leak. Now that you mention it, I do see a little bit of green algae growth kind of coming in up under these little slightly shaded areas. But the roof doesn't look bad. I was under the impression it was a new roof. Really hops. Can flashing on and against your brick be reused with a new roof? It depends. It depends on the condition of it and what it is. If it's steel, I'd really encourage replacing it. If it's a heavy gauge steel or copper or something, I'm sure it can. But if you got any dense dings, it'll look cosmetically bad. If you've got any cuts, cracks, slash marks, anything, guy's flat barn, getting the old roof off, put a ding in it. I mean, it can lead to issues without seeing it. It's really hard to tell. Oh, 20-year-old roof now. No, that roof looks really good. Did you say it was a malarkey roof or what? What kind? I'm gonna have to let my dogs out, so if you guys give me a real quick yes, I'll wait in chat, or I can end it. If you guys want to wait for me to take the dogs out. Owen Corning, yeah, it looks like it's doing really good for that age of a roof. Looks like there's 17, 16 of you in there. I will let them out and come back for a few more. You'll wait. I need two more people to question. Give me I can't have an even 50-50 odds. You'll wait. All right. Oh, that's a 50-50 odd, but wouldn't matter if a third. Okay, give me a few minutes to let this dog out. She's got to go to the bathroom, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Hey, from Ohio. What part of Ohio? Neighboring state? I think I need to have a YouTube giveaway. 20K subscriber giveaway prematurely. 2 dogs. That's right, I'm gonna give you away. Go. Get away. Um, can a quality job be done on a second layer? Yes, somebody can put good quality into a second layer roof over in a sense of the quality of like flashing and general install, but it's still never a good idea. I don't think they last. I don't think the life expectancy is as good. You're always going to see a little more of a rough look to it. Some people are going to beg to differ, and my honest opinion, the people that promote a roof over, they just don't care. They just want money. I'm not saying it can't be done. I know times are getting tough for everybody, so if it's the option you need to go, I would just strongly encourage you to review whoever you're planning on doing it and get in writing what they're going to do. They're going to reflash everything. They're going to use new flashing things. There was a job that I turned down because they wanted a roof over and the guy would not listen to me. In my opinion, I feel he way overpaid for what he got. And the reason I didn't even want to recommend or offer, he had cedar trim siding stuff pinned down tight to the roof, and there's no way you're going to get new flashing in there. And I know they did not flat bar anything out. They didn't cut siding loose. They didn't raise the siding boards. They didn't flash anything. They just simply put a roof over and they went to the bank smiling. So it's just not good. Plus, as I stated earlier in the stream, there's a lot of extra mass eaten up all day. Hang on. Come here. Come here. Again, I apologize. The dogs are wanting to get crazy, and my little girl is down for bed. So yeah, back to all the extra mass, getting heat. It's just not going to be good. All right, moving on. Did I ever find out what kind of shingle on the angle cuts? You must have been on the live stream earlier today. No, I haven't really been able to do any digging. I was actually 35 minutes away from home, up in Logansport, just northwest of here. I had a little bit of a drive to get back real quick. Then I had to put my dad hat on, husband hat, and help out, get dinner going, get cleaned up, get the two Hanyots out of their cage and fed. And I haven't even read comments yet. Somebody, I will say in that video, um, I did hear a couple people comment. Okay, I lied. When I took the dogs out, I kind of glanced through. A couple people commented about a defective shingle when it was like manufactured bad. I don't think that's the case because have you ever seen a shingle manufacturing plant when they run the fiberglass roll through and they start running it through these little pullers to gain slack in the system, and then as they start getting doped up and granulated and everything, and they're cut, there's a die, a big wheel die with blades made in it. And I don't think that just they all got damaged in a sense. It was cut and crooked. I think it was made that way. That's why I think it's an old discontinued shingle. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Appreciate it. Uh, Ollie, I need help fixing my roof. Leaky roof, 16-year architectural from Florida. What kind of leak do you have going on? How many nails per shingle do we recommend? Um, Check your manufacturer. We always do 6. Most manufacturers will honor certain warranties with 4 nails and 6 nail pattern. 6 nail pattern typically go up to a little bit more wind rating. I haven't really looked at shingle manufacturer recommendations myself lately. I've been doing this a long time, but we use 6 and watch where you put them. Don't just get careless and put them wherever. There's certain things you got to go by. Stone coated metal roof. Okay, that changes things a little bit. I've never done a stone coated metal roof. They look pretty sweet though. Oh, I'm sorry. There was it 2 different questions or an answer to somebody else? Yeah, Ollie, not Devin. So Devin, I was talking to your question about the nails. Check something here real quick. Holy crap. Well, son of a bitch. What do we have going on here? Oh, Cardano be popping off right now. Look at this. I was back here looking at getting into it shortly after lunch, and again, I missed another nice big runner. I don't know. Oh well, there's always next time. Barley hops, yes, it's crypto. It's Cardano. That particular chart was Cardano, 1 hour USD pair. Ollie, if you can get me some photos of your roof you're talking about, the roof leak, if you can get me a picture from inside showing the leak, hopefully with like a outside door for reference or window or something, and then go on the outside and send me a picture looking up at the general area. I'd love to kind of do what I could to look into it via photo and internet, see what I can do to point you maybe in the right direction. No, go ahead, send it over to my email if you can do it quickly if you've got some. I'll stay on just a little bit longer. Email, I believe, is Grand Roofing Inc. Kokomo at gmail.com. I'll give you a few more minutes because it's going to try to stay on to just an hour. I'll go a little longer. Somebody else just sent a picture. Let me bring that back up. Ooh, I'm just glancing through the photo real quick here. They're really blurry. It's really hard for me to see some of these, but yeah, that some of this quality's looking really bad. Oh wow, did they just Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Let me go back up to the top here. Okay, who was that? Cod 4. I believe this is your email that came in to me. I'll bring up some of these real quick. Some of them are a little blurry. We'll just try to burn through these real fast. Let me shove this over. I can't see my downloads. Yeah, look at the sloppiness in this. Yeah, I'm moving some screens around real quick. Give me a minute. Okay. Can I see? Yes, I can see. Okay. The terrible slop with everything. I mean, this angle right here looks horrible. Just knowing the amount of water going to be flowing off of that. Let me go bring up some more real quick. I can't tell where this is, but this looks like a valley coming down right here, and it looks to be a hole. I don't know, it's kind of got snow and can't quite make out everything with it, but just doesn't look good. Here's a picture. I really am not even. Oh, okay. I see it now. I wasn't sure what was going on. It looked like a gutter catching something, but as I bring the picture up bigger, this looks like it is a roof section that goes under another roof facet, and it looks like it's just completely missing a panel here. Hope it's not a done project. This one's really piss poor quality. W Valley doesn't even go up all the way. You can see a hole right here. Their screws are way too low to this because water's going to come right under this raised rib and go right into the shaft of this screw right here. You need to pull the screws out a little bit. This one here, any water coming off the edge of this cap is running down right here into this, potentially into that hole. And what's the story on this? Oh, this one's bad too. They got apron. It, no, it doesn't even appear to be apron. It looks like it might be a gable cap as apron. I don't know. No, I don't know what they got. It just is not good. It's not right. And their gable cap is under their panel. This top cap looks like it's just literally smashed over. This is bad. And glance through. Thank you, Barley. Appreciate it. Okay, so wow, you got called to repair it. They initially paid $25,000 last year for this kind of work. That is bad. I've had some of my worst steel roof ever videos. One of them, I'm just like, man, I don't even want to touch this. It's bad. Let me just try to copy it and paste it here. And I got one more photo since this guy's email is still up. Let me look at this photo and I'll copy and paste the email in here. Um, I'm assuming you took off the siding, or is this how you found it? Because this isn't, there's no Tyvek, there's no wrap or nothing. The flashing is under the panels. The wall flashing is a nightmare. And that actually looks like a rat guard that's upside down. That actually is a flat channel and it comes down at 45 to your sidewall and holds a steel panel to go like a soldier course or vertical siding. It's just upside down. It just looks completely wrong. Let me grab my email for this here real quick. Okay. There, you can copy that email right there if you want to send it to that pretty quick. Grand Roofing Inc Kokomo at gmail.com. Thank you for the pictures. Those are pretty bad. Yeah, there's some bad stuff. I know you guys have seen some of my worst roof videos, and they're pretty bad. Yeah, when I get calls where there's that much bad stuff, I try to tell them politely, I don't have the time to get into it. It's going to cost too much. I mean, if I had a roof installed that bad, I don't know that I'd want them back on my property. Yeah, in my opinion, just looking at what little bit of the photos you sent me, there's no repairing it. It just needs to come off and be a fresh start for me to put my name on it. Well, hopefully they do what they need and try to go after them for something. Um, Compensation financially, refund, leaving bad reviews. That's terrible. That is really bad. You're welcome, Ollie. Yeah, I'll stick around for a little bit longer. 24 people out here. You know what would just make me happy? If you guys could just give it a thumbs up. It's so simple to do and it really does help. YouTube likes to see the engagement, retention time, and interaction for it to promote it and recommend it. Yeah, it just blows me away. I'll put a title out. Scott W. brought it to my attention. He's like, hey, you notice when your videos that do the best, they have like worst roof ever title or a multi-layer or roof over. It's just the things that people look up and they see. I don't know. So, a little thumbs up does help. Hey, I appreciate that, Barley Hops. The install guys I'm working with, I've worked with for about 10 years. So luckily, they were a good find. Come to like them and trust them, and I keep a close eye over the quality, do really good quality control. You find some good people, take care of them. Cheers from the Twin Ports. Not quite sure where that's at. You know what? I don't know. I YouTube it or Google it. Duluth, Minnesota? Twin Ports, Duluth, Minnesota. Oh, there we go. We got the 25 likes. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. You just made my Friday. Where are we at here, beer guys? I don't know. Maybe I'll stick around for one more. Not Bogart it. Still no new email yet. I've been to Duluth. I remember the big, what was it, the manatee? I think it was. Real big, fatty, fishy thing just floating around by a bridge. Do I do repairs in Chicago? No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm not a fan of Chicago. But I know who you can call. I've met the guy, the owner. Look up Greenlight Construction up in the Chicago area. Some people you can just get the feel when you meet them. You know they're good, and he's one that I've met a couple years ago down in Indianapolis at a event that ABC and Malarkey put on. And great guy, great company. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that. You do repairs in the Chicago area. I thought you were asking if I do in the Chicago area. Pod 4, where are you at? Because I know it's not just my area, just I feel like it's really bad here. Fifty-one 7. Hmm. I'm gonna look something up for me here for a second, real quick. Yeah, it's not gonna last. Not looking good. It's the 13th. What is today? 9th? Yeah. I think we have a little bit of a pump here. The 13th is the Fed meeting, CPI read. Not looking good. We're gonna come capitulating down still once more. This bear market's not over. Actually, considering giving away some more crypto here soon. If anyone's into it, let me know. And you guys will have a sneak little peek into why Cardano, just because I really like Cardano. It's not my only thing, but I do a lot of BTC trading in Cardano. Actually, one of the things I need to work on, I stated earlier, was working on my servers. I've got some servers I'm working on to be a Cardano stake pool operator. I just like Cardano. It's going to be a good project long term. Started buying Cardano when it was like 20, 30 cents, and then rode up the highs at like 315. Got the Ethereum merge. It's going to pump and dump on the sell off. See, this is the stuff I miss when I'm doing this. I need to be watching my trading. Oh, that's really odd. I'll get back to that. Okay, there's a little bit of a dip. Way up. Watching from Elkhart. All right. Hey, Phil. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, you do steel riffs. Nice. You post on your channel? If so, I'd have to check it out. Let me pull your name up here and get a little copy and pasty going on. I was about to recommend a roofer kind of up in your area. You've probably already heard of him. And that is Zach. Paste with Veteran Roofing. I think he might be west of you though. Okay, not popping up. Doesn't appear that you have any videos. Maybe I'm wrong. Never owned any crow, and I'm gonna stay away from ape. You got 7 ETH waiting. Let's sell. Yeah, the merger's coming up here. I don't know the exact day. I've got some ETH stored away in long-term cold storage. How's Bean Counter Dave doing? He's doing pretty good. He's been pretty busy on the real estate side. Got a lot of stuff going on there. Thanks for asking. Long time viewer, if you remember Bean Counter Dave. Yeah, send me over some bad photos. I'll try to get everything ready the night before in a simple folder so I don't need to do the download, opening, all that stuff. Wouldn't know what to do with crypto. You gotta learn a little. I mean, get used to it. If you're here in the States, it's coming next year. The CBDC is launching in 2023. Yeah, I typed your name in the search bar and it came up like Val Kilmer, the actor type stuff. But if you're out here, Barley Hops, take it easy. Appreciate you joining in. Do I day trade BTC? Yes. When I'm in front of my computers, I day trade. I love to day trade. It's one of the reasons why I like crypto so much. I can do it right now, anytime, after hours, holidays, doesn't matter. Until they try to crack down so much on it, regulate it. I don't mind regulation. I want there to be some regulation and clarity. I just don't want them to say you got to do all this stupid stuff like, well, they already got rid of the wash rule, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I like it. I started studying a little over 2 years ago in crypto and markets and human psychology and stuff. Done pretty good. Made some really good trades. Any other questions? And let me check, see if there's any new emails. No emails come in yet. Just in case, let me go see on this computer here if anyone may have emailed the other email. Yeah, spam, junk. Oh, Riffmax, I forgot about that. August 24th. Yeah, don't try to get too much into the crypto trading stuff on here anyways, just because I don't want to be way off topic when it comes to roofing, but I do have a few little things planned as far as kind of tying in a little bit of crypto with roofing. Hey, David from Tampa, how are you doing? If I'm understanding you right, you said the house you bought had the drip edge around the torch roof addition with the bottom edge touching the fascia. Are you talking about, am I reading that right? Like a torch down modified roof? Bottom edge touching the fascia. I guess I'm not following you on, you mean in the touching the fascia. So you're talking about the fascia? The metal was touching it tight and water was getting in and you put shims out to space it? Or are you talking about, where'd that go? David, if you can get me a picture, I'd like to see a little more what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, it's a roll roofing shingle that comes down and the apron over the fascia board or where it transitions into another section. Rants are us. You are here. You're here at the tail end. I was wondering when you're going to chime in. Rants are us is the first grand roofing moderator. I know, buddy, you're late, like an hour and a half late. Hey, better late than never, though. High school football games. I don't want that starting yet. My little girl's only 4. Big boss, doing good. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Okay, David, so the drip edge is down over the fascia. Uh, so it's a low slope section. You got the roll roofing. The apron is down, I'm assuming, under the roll roofing cap or sandwiched in between the base and the cap, and it's going down over the face. Answer a short story on the picture. Oh, so I was going through pictures, emails that were sent to me over the past week, and some of the bad install photos people sent me. We were just kind of going through them, talking about them. This is just one of the bad stories that someone had sent in where they were called out to fix the leaks, and there was actually as I close them, you might see some just the flashing, no Tyvek, no siding. Um, I don't know what kind of apron they got here. Gables under the top, just beat over the side. Some really bad stuff viewers were sending in. Bad sloppy work right here. Screws in horrible locations. W valley's not run up far enough. Missing a complete panel here. Valley's coming terminating to an end with a mess of whatever and snow, so it looks cold when that was taken. Horrible quality work right here. And this was an elusive roof leak that somebody had, a viewer of the channel, after, I don't know, I think it said 15 years maybe? And they finally figured that one out. I'm just closing them away. They're everything that's left up on the screen. This was from another viewer that sent in last week an email, the quality work they come across. So, I mean, it sucks that I see this is happening elsewhere, but I'm glad at least it's not my hometown, but that still sounds so bad. Some people sent in stuff and had questions. Horrible quality satellite install, guys. All right. Probably should go through and maybe make sure none of that's pertinent information to not be seen. You just sent the photos, COD 4. Let me pull it up and look here. Okay. Oh, you just sent some more bad install photos over. Okay, sorry. I was thinking that was the other guy I'm still waiting on an email from. Um, I can't remember his name and where he was even from. Who was that? If you're still in here. Oh, it was Ollie. I think it was Ollie. Was it Ollie? Okay, yeah, I think it's Ollie I'm waiting on. Ollie, are you still in here? Waiting on your email still. Um, oh my gosh. That's bad. Nailing a keyway. Rusted nails popping up. Ooh. I'm just go over a couple of these real quick. Thanks for the extra photos. The process, I need to find a better streamlined process for this. Oopsie. Oh crap. I meant to shrink me down. There we go. Now I can see it now. Um, looks like old lead flashing just exposed on what appears to be an IKO Cambridge shingle. From what I can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but it looks like it's got a straight sawtooth. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's go get another photo here. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty slopified. I just hate when they use the counter flashing, flare it down over the roof, and leave it like that. That's not good. I mean, in my opinion, this should have been completely ripped out and reflashed, counter flashing and all. Yeah, I know that's what I was saying a minute ago. I mean, I feel good that it's not just what I'm seeing, but it sounds bad because it means it's unfortunately happening to a lot of other homeowners. Thank you. Yeah, it was Ollie I was waiting on the email. I still haven't seen it come in yet. What do you know on the story on that cod? Um, a DIYer or was it a contractor that botched it? I'm highly doubting that they added any flashing under this, so this is just bad. Oh, look, did they went through the trouble of putting a little tar up here, it looks like maybe. What little bit of lead there is probably worth more than the job they did, the quality of the job they did. Oh, nail in a keyway. Such a common issue over time. It's a little underdriven, and from the angle, it appears to be maybe within 3/4 inch to an inch out. Not good. Worst flashing ever. Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Nail pop. That's a bad nail pop location because if it's a nail pop, you should see it right up in this location. Let me see if I'm even got my cursor in the right area. Yeah. Oh, my screen is backwards for some reason. How did I mirror the image? I'll have to see if I can fix that. But if the nails were installed in the right location, if it's a newer nail, I guess it could be an old shingle layer nail. But if it's in the common bond and you see a pop, it's going to come up right through this buildup area, not down in the middle of the shingle. Yeah, I got to figure out how I mirrored my screen over here. I'm sorry, so now it's all backwards. Well, we can still work with it for now. Having all kinds of technical difficulties. That was the last photo. It looks like they tried to spot it. They installed that last year. That's terrible. Yeah, they could have possibly put some step flashing stuff behind it, but I highly doubt it. Okay, David, I appreciate it. If you guys haven't, it looks like there's 15 people in here. Just trying to encourage some people to go out to the community tab and click on the poll for what live Q&A day works best. Fridays so far are the leading, last I looked, but take a minute, give your vote on that. Uh, yeah, you're referring to a stagger like back and forth like this, and no overhang on the shingle eave line down the bottom. Let me check my email again here real quick. Yeah, no new email yet. Let me check my other email. Oh, nothing new yet. Any other questions? Seamless gutters thinner than sectional gutters? I don't know. I don't do gutters. I just hand that off to another company. So I can't answer that for sure. I do know that there's different size coil stocks that the seamless gutter guys can install or can buy. So I guess it could be, or I don't know what size the standard ruled kind are. One of my former employers had a roll former for gutters, seamless gutter machine, and I know that you can buy thicker or thinner, so I can't answer that. I do know they make different size gauge though. Are particularly all 5-inch reveal shingles discontinued? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it is a really good question. A lot of the manufacturers have switched over to a metric shingle, so I don't know if that means if a 5-inch exposure is technically discontinued. I mean, I do know you can repair a standard roof with metric. You're just going to bury the shingles a little bit. But if you have a legitimate storm claim, it might be in your best interest to file a claim without repairing it. Could it be repaired? Yes. You can't, however, stretch a standard shingle into a repair on a metric roof. It's just going to be expanded too much. I don't charge more to replace any of the flashing. It's just part of my initial figure, my initial quote. If it needs it, we're figuring it and it's getting it. I do know that there was some competition, or I mean, I don't look at it as competition. I know there's a lot of companies, and I gotta watch how I say this because I don't mean it in every circumstance. And I do have people I talk to, viewers of the channel that I've gotten to know over the years. So it's not all. If you're watching, I'm not directing this towards you, but I do know there's a lot of companies out there where if insurance isn't paying for it, they're not doing it, and it's more money in their pocket. And then there are some out there where it doesn't matter whether it's insurance job or not, or even if insurance is paying for the job, but they're not paying for a particular line item, they still will do it right. Suggested riffing gun, Hitachi and Matoba. That's what I've been using all my life. That's what I prefer. I've gotten used to it and I like it. Uh, I had a question on the video yesterday. Roof of a small dormer and gutters. How does the water drain down to the ground? The gutters don't have downspouts. Let me read that again. Okay. I think I remember seeing that. I apologize. Like I said, the channel's got like almost 2 million views this month, and it's hard to keep up with everything. If you've got like, say, I think I know which video, I think it's one I just released, you're talking about a small dormer section with a gutter, and it's going to dump out onto a roof. It does not need to have a downspout. You don't want it flowing back up under the shingles because you can get backwash, almost in a sense, wind-driven rain coming off, so you don't want that. I didn't say that in the video. That was a live shot video, no retakes. Um, it's best to have it capped off and dump maybe an elbow turned down the roof, not sideways where it's going to run up under flashing or a keyway. But if it's coming off the dormer with no gutter or a section of gutter, it's fine. It's going to run its way down to the next section. I think that's what you're asking. Um, Brian Jack, when it comes to ITIL tests, I was just talking about that briefly in the earlier live stream when I was up in Logansport. I don't have a ton of experience with it, but I do know using their app, they can't say without for 100% certainty that it is discontinued or not. To my knowledge, you'll need to. I think there's a way of doing it where you submit a ticket, you get a box, and you'll remove a shingle, and you'll send that shingle into them to actually verify. They'll have way more information by measuring the shingles, by looking at the shingles, visually seeing them. The cellophane strip on the back gives some information. So to my knowledge, that's the only way they can say for 100% certainty if it's discontinued or not. So if they didn't say that, you might want to send in a shingle. And a viewer of the channel did tell me there is a way to do it to where if it's an insurance claim, they can actually bill the insurance carrier for the test so you're not out of pocket. I don't know the process though. I know exactly what you're talking about with the Matoba gun. Over the years, they get wore out, and that does seem to be an issue. Typically, what I've come to find is the plunger that comes down over time, it's kind of gotten rounded and it doesn't drive, it doesn't come in contact perfectly with the nail. What I would recommend is taking a file and gently filing that a little more flat, not perfectly sharp like a blade flat, but a little more flat. It's probably gotten rounded out a little bit. Just keep in mind if you take off more material off that plunger, they're going to be underdriven, so you're going to have to retract your gauge a little bit. That might be something you can do. I've got a bin. I don't know if you saw the video. Let me grab a link to that video and I'll paste it in here and you can watch it later. Give me just a minute. It's not a very old video. Here we go. Actually, it was 3 weeks ago. Share, copy, close. Okay, whoever asked that about the Matoba, here's a video link I'm putting in chat for you. You can click out now and get it in your history and watch it later. You can watch it later, whatever. And I do have a Matoba gun kind of broke down a little bit, and I'm going through a couple of the parts on it, doing a quick repair. They're pretty simple to work on. 80% of your jobs are shingles. What's my opinion on steel? I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't mind steel. I will say I am job selective when it comes to steel. I've seen some houses that just all cut up. There's mansard faces and this and that, and I'm not a fan of it. There's way too many people that are going to undercut me and do it, and it's just a complete waste of my time to even figure it. So I don't piss with those. If it's a simple roof, a few valleys, few hips, I don't mind those. Easy to figure, easy to do, but when it requires a lot of extra steps and cutting, not a fan of it. And then old farm homes, you can have metal kind of sway laterally across the roof, but if your roof dips, the metals don't really conform to it very much. I'm just not a fan of all the extra stuff. Again, because it's a waste of time, because the other guy's gonna underbid me, and just it's a waste of time figuring it. As far as quality, it's gonna hold up pretty good, provided it's installed good, and I am a fan of standing seam looking a lot better than exposed fastener, but both can be good. Thanks, Brian Jack. I appreciate that. I've been on the production side pretty much my entire time in the roofing industry, coming up in 20 years now. In the last 5, I've been the owner of this and learning a whole new slew of skills. No, I've never done a steel shingle like the granule embossed shingles. Just done long panel, exposed fastener, and standing seam. Check my email again. Still waiting on that one from drawing a blank. Ollie. Waiting on Ollie's email. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's Raptor or Grip Right, maybe. There's a couple of different brands at different times. We're still having a lot of supply issues here. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that was David. That David from Florida said he was going to send it before the next live show. I didn't catch Ollie say he'd send it tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the it doesn't go into all the repairs on the gun. It's just one particular repair I had to do before I could do a repair myself. My gun broke down the night before, and I wasn't gonna do this repair, so I wanted to fix it. There's really not a lot to them. You got a moving piston, you've got a two-stage valve, so if you pull the trigger, it doesn't shoot. You have to engage the cone, but if you engage the cone, don't pull the trigger, it doesn't shoot. Basically, you've got a volume of air that's compressed. Both triggers are working in unison. The air flows through, fires the piston down. When the cone comes off, it switches the valve bypass, and the exhaust ports through ports, goes into the second piston, fires up your reloader, and exhaust comes out. I mean, there's not a lot to it. There's not many moving parts. Some WD-40, a rag, and a air nozzle will clean that up really good, fix your broken parts, and then put a good quality uh, air tool oil back into it. Oh, Ollie, you're still here, Ollie. Oh, there we go. Let me look what we got here. Okay, so Ollie, I'll pull up the photos here in a second. I'm just gonna scroll through here real quick. The first photo is looking down near your exterior wall where your rafter tails will be. I don't see any insulation, so either you've moved it or you're over a garage or something that's not insulated. Second photo looks like water coming in on a rafter, dripping down. I'm just burning through them real quick. Okay, so I've seen this type of leak before. I don't have any photos of the outside exterior roof. I imagine you may have just taken these possibly. Let me bring them up and we'll talk about them real quick. Roofer came 3 times, couldn't fix it, and it's a valley. Well, I'm just going to call it right now. I haven't seen your roof, but the type of roof leak is common when it comes to quality of install with nail placement. Here's the first photo. Let me make sure I got everything in frame here. It's going to be backwards. I apologize. Let me see if I can flip this around real quick. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I figured it out. There, it's back right. Somehow I got the image spun around. Um, Sorry, my screens are all overlapping in the wrong area. Okay. Uh, okay, that's what I was going to tell you. You didn't even let me get to it, Ollie. So this just looks like the general area where it's all wet. And if you could answer, is this over a garage or some section that does not have insulation, or did you move the insulation? That's one thing. Um, Come down here. Okay, here we go. So looking at this next one, when I see a leak like this, it's usually because of a nail coming in right here, and the water's coming in at the nail because of 2 shingle keyways coming together, and it's running in the crack of the 2 shingle keyways, and there's a nail in the keyway, and it's running down. Could be a shingle nail popped up, actually popped through the shingle, or a decking nail. It looks like right here is a decking nail, and it looks like, honestly, it doesn't penetrate in deep enough. I'm looking at this photo looking like it might be a 2x4 or 2x6. Kind of hard to reference. I see an H clip in the distance here. Look at that. It looks like a 2x4 rafter. Maybe a 2x6, but it doesn't look like it comes down far enough. And there is something right here that looks a little split. If you go up on the roof, I'm almost certain there's a gnat that's what the issue is going to be. What are the photos you got here? Different angles, same thing. Okay, so I'm not positive, but it's looking like this is a roof, and there's a valley section and that they added on in framing coming down. This usually you got it laying sideways and they bring the rafters down to it, and water's coming in on there. If it's in a valley section that this is occurring, it can be worse. Like it looks like you got more water coming in because you're channeling water from a wider surface area to a narrow valley, and it's running down. So if you got some dry weather and you can get up into that area and you can access and mark right up there, typically you can just push the nail up if you know which one it's dripping off of back through the roof, but you can cause more damage, so you then need to go up and fix it or temporarily patch it, but it's a good way to find it. There's been times where if I'm actually doing an RBK1A install or something and I need to be really precise on the roof, I'll actually go in the attic and drive a 16 up through the roof or drill a hole and shove a nail up through the hole so I can actually go onto the roof and locate it pretty quick. Yeah, I do agree. They're like a little bit of detective work, trying to use what information you can find to narrow down the roof leak issue. I've been to quite a few. Actually, I was at one and I did a video on the roof. I was even inside, did a video. The lady gave me consent for it. She even held my phone. And the next day she called and said she had a change of heart. She wanted to be private and didn't want her content out there. So I couldn't show any of it. I could talk about it, I guess. She said she had many contractors out and there was a roof leak on the ceiling, and on the wall there was a little line developing there. Every contractor she's had over showed them the leak in the inside of the house, and none of them could answer why logically give an explanation of why the one on the wall was where it was. I'm like, well, I can give you an answer right now. I can show you, prove it. And on top of that, I can tell you exactly why these here. So knowing, and I'm not a drywall, I'm not a framer, but typically drywall sheets come 4x8, 4x12 sheets. So I'm like, I almost guarantee you, if I put a tape measure at the ceiling of your wall here and pull it out, it's going to be 4 foot. Bam, a 4 foot line right there. And the leak also went towards the sidewall. I was like, okay, now here's another one. If I put my tape measure at the ceiling at the wall, and I come down, it's going to be exactly 4 feet. And I put it on there, there's the line. So her leak was coming in right over a stove vent in that area, and it's running down a rafter and dripping off onto the ceiling, and it was right next to a top seal plate. Well, when it comes in on the top seal plate, you're behind the drywall, it is running down the drywall backing where the two sheets come together. There's no mud there, so the water wicks in the surface tension, out comes the stain mark. Um, just blows me away the amount of people that have no clue what they're doing and they'll just slap caulking on stuff and then say they fixed it and charge. It's ridiculous. Let's see what I'm missing here. Ollie, did you get it stopped? I see you said you used some roof cement. I mean, that's fine. It'll stop it, but roof cement over time will dry out and get brittle and crack again. So I would recommend using something slightly different, a little more elasticy that's not going to degrade the shingles, or even take a piece of aluminum flashing, pop the two nails above if they're in the area, shove the flashing in over it, and re-nail. And the flashing will act almost as a diverter, a cap, or you can completely replace the shingle if you want. Diego, thoughts on shingles that claim to last 35 and 50 years? I'm in Iowa, and I am just going to say when it takes anything. I think it's all marketing. Shingles are going to wear out. I mean, GAF, I'm not a fan of their marketing claim. I have GAF on my roof, I have the Master Elite, and I have an issue with the color on it. A sales rep comes out and meets me, and he's like, "Oh, you got 49 more years. Just wait, just wait." When they're trying to encourage you to wait, you got to wonder why. Are they gonna change names, dissolve the company, start a new one, or 50-year warranties? They don't tell you if you sell the home, it doesn't transfer over unless you do certain things, pay more fees. If you're just selling your home, manufacturer warranty doesn't fall unless you transfer the warranty. That is, even if it was initially filed in the first place. So I'm not a fan of the marketing. I was actually reading one just the other day, some of the marketing schemes they're talking about with Atlas with no waste shingles. I'm like, well, okay, you get into reading it, and they're just talking about the way they stagger, off cut. There's no waste. But you can do that with a standard shingle. Or their wind rating now, their warranty on their wind rating is down to like 12 years. So it's a 35-year shingle, but the wind warranty is only 12 years? Come on. Do I prefer 5/8 or half-inch plywood for sheeting? I mean, either of those is going to be better than the standard norm in my area, but obviously the thicker the better. 5/8 would be nice. Actually, one of my neighbors, when we did his roof, he wanted 5/8 plywood. I was like, oh, Tim Allen's little. I mean, it's a nice decking he got put on a few years ago. I mean, it can be overkill, but it's going to be solid. Hey, Don, wanting to know if I can talk a bit about installing ridge vent. Thanks. What questions you got? Just go through a brief overview. You want to make sure it is cut open enough to properly vent. Many different ridge vents on the market, so choose wisely. I would say, depending upon your attic insulation, if you have cellulose, I would rule out a handful of them because they're going to clog up over time. Make sure it's installed with the right size nails to hold it down. Make sure you run your ridge cap the right direction. Make sure you run your ridge cap under far enough till it blocks the baffles. Those are some of the biggest things I see done wrong or people not taking the proper oversight of. Is it better to remove it and fill it the hole. You know, there can be good and there can be bad to both. If you're going to remove it and fill it, make sure you do your best to pack it down in there. If you leave it, it's going to automatically start to fill it, and you cover it, it can have more surface area holding down. On the downside is if it ever does back out, it's going to start poking up. If it's during an install, it's best just remove the shingle right then and there and replace it. Um, and if you're going to leave it, you could always, if you're doing an install, put a piece of ice and water over it. It might last a little bit longer, or put a piece of aluminum flashing over it. Yeah, some areas, back to the plywood question, some areas do require, if it's new construction, certain sizes with H clips on 24-inch centers. So believe the minimum is ½ inch with H clips, at least in my area. Not positive. Again, I'm not the framer. I don't build homes. David Diaz, hey, can you show me how to install and cut metal valley on the top when there is a 2-inch on both sides? I don't understand what you're asking there. Are you talking about like W Valley metal and you got 2-inch coming out on each side? I don't understand. If you can clarify a little bit on the question there, David. Um, Mama, yes, plywood is going to be way better in the long term over OSB, but OSB is a cheaper, economical solution, and they're all expensive. Luckily, they've come down quite a bit, but I used OSB on my garage when I built it. I was already in for a ton of money redoing all my driveway and everything. If I had the additional, I probably would have put plywood up there for sure, but I already spent like 70 grand on it, and I didn't want to put any more into it. Don, you've never heard of what until watching the channel? Let me see, what did you comment up above? Oh, you've never heard of ridge vent. Okay, that was you up top there. Yeah, ridge vent's been on the market for quite a while. I just came across a roof here in Kokomo a couple days ago. I was looking at it. It had 3/8 on the back. It was on 24-inch centers. You had to really watch where you're walking. It had rotten decking, just really bad shape, delaminating. The front was solid. And I'm like, okay, this is odd. He stated they had an addition put on, and that was all new decking. Looking up under the bottom eave edge, you don't see it often, but I found where they put OSB right on top of the old 3/8, and I'm not a fan of that. That stuff you can usually just peel back like butter, throw it away, and put a new good install in. When I see you guys roofing over old decking, you're never going to get it lined up right to shoot your nails into your rafters and trusses. So I don't know why so many people do it. Oh, I think I see what you're talking about, David. So you got two valleys that come down into the same area. Is that what you're saying? How do you cut them so they overlap? Exactly. Okay, so when there are two metal valleys and they reach the top, okay, wait, and they reach the top? Or are you talking about the top of the apron at the bottom? So you're talking about the bottom of the valley where two valleys come down, or two valleys come up to the top? Oh, okay. Well, you're like a dormer. You got two pieces of metal coming up where they converge where your top ridge comes into it. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, I see what you're talking about. It just takes a little bit of work. It's gonna be hard to describe. If you just think how water is gonna flow, so and it may not be the exact way everybody else does it, but what we do is when your metal valleys are coming up, we're gonna overshoot the valley, so you have excess material. Because on your high side coming up the main part of the house, you want to run your valleys up far enough so when you cut it, it's actually going up where your roof panels on the main are going to cover. It's probably looking backwards for you. We will notch the W part so you can fold the thin panel down, and the W valley you're not going to be able to contort much. We're going to do our best to kind of fold one down, fold the next kind of over it, and you do the same process on the next panel coming up. You're going to run it high so the two outer high edges of the W valley are actually going to intersect high up on your main roof, if that makes sense, and they're slightly folded over. They're going to be covered. We're going to use a good sealer, bugle tape to kind of help hold and seal that down. And then we try to take our ridge cap when we bring it in. You're going to trim that to conform to come in contact. If you imagine that plane of that ridge cap coming right into the main roof deck, so it's now sheltering the valley as well. Um, and you can always put a little slit right in the top center here. And then with a nice pair of bending tools, you can bend those up at a slight angle to the pitch of the roof. So if you imagine the gables coming this way, or your ridge of your dormer, and it's coming in contact with your roof, the corners are going to intersect before the center does. So if you slit the center and then fold those corners up, it will come into your roof, make a good contact. Then when you run your main roof panels out, it'll cross all that. You just got to make sure you're clean in your valley. It's really hard to describe. Hopefully that gives you a little more clarity on what I'm talking about. So I try to find a scrap piece of paper here and show you. Okay, so this is your ridge cap, and you're coming into your main part of your house. You see how those kind of come in contact before the top center does? You're going to cut the top center of the ridge here. You're going to use bending tools to bend those up like this. If you can see that, kind of, it's kind of hard to just show, but when you cut them just right here, make a relief cut so you can fold these up, they will come in contact with your roof like this. I know this is a horrible example, but does that give you a little better sense on how the actual ridge cap panel comes in? And then when your roof panels cross that, you don't see any of it. And then as far as your W valley, I'm getting super high tech here. Okay. And we have W valley. Looks great. Looks just like it, right? I need to start a manufacturing company. When your W valley is coming up the valley, a lot of guys will just stop it short. It really needs to shoot up high. So as you're coming up the valley about a 45-degree angle, you want this part right here, to go up high enough. You can put relief cuts in here, and you're going to fold this part down over the ridge, and you're going to have to work the rib down. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but your goal is to have both opposing W valleys come up. The first one you do is going to fold over, so the second one you come up, you're going to try to trim in such a way it's going to fold right at the top of the ridge. All right, I just embarrassed myself with my visual, my prop. It depends on the profile. Like some ridge caps have more profile bends to them, you're gonna have to put relief cuts anywhere that is, anywhere those are. I can't for sure, but like ICO is a straight cut. That's one dead giveaway. Shadow lines are another one, Justin. Certain shadow lines are kind of a dead giveaway. It's not as easy as the ICO straight look. Uh, Sometimes with the shingles, the ridge cap can be a dead giveaway. If it's a double layer, it's usually a GAF TimberTex. You know, it's a GAF roof. Um, if you can get to the cellophane, that can definitely help too. And then by measurements, measurements can do a lot too. So your ridge cap, if it's got little clipped edges, I'm pretty sure that's going to be certainty roofs have those. Okay, so yeah, back to you, Ollie. Yes, that's something I was under the impression it was just like a clean open area. Then you had said it was a valley, but yeah, if it's only leaking during a directional rain, that can be another dead giveaway. Whether it's coming in from a siding, a J channel, a window, no flashing, a wall that's typically got an overhang hanging it, and when the wind blows out of a different area. So yeah, that can be another help in looking for the leak. Okay, it's over the garage, no insulation. Okay, I was just curious on that because I didn't even see any remnants of insulation. Looks like you sent a short video. Ollie, is it okay to play it? Or I can turn my volume down and play it up on the other screen. Okay, so you did get it stopped. I've got the volume down, so if you have audio, I didn't know if you wanted it played or not. Looks like there's still water running down or drooping down. Uh, uh, Play that after, in case there's audio on it. You're welcome, David. David, I don't do a ton of metal. I guess one little tip, I mean, it sounds so simple, but just think if you were water or how water would flow when it comes down to hitting things, where it's going to run based on the pitch, based on gravity, wind, things like that. Just try to think about it, and it might help you come to some solutions on what you're trying to tackle. David, did you see the video I was showing when we're setting up doing a metal steel roof on as far as like measuring from end to end so you can align your panel and get your first one starting just right so your final panel, the gable can cover pretty good? Pretty good. A little bit of info on that too. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend that one. If you want, I can grab the link here real quick just because I saw it. Let's see, it's roofing Q&A, steel roof setup for install. Okay, here we go. All right, here comes the link for you, David. Ollie, if that nail is right smack dab in the valley, be cautious and careful because you got a lot of water flowing down that area. If it's just out of it and in a seam, uh, those still do leak, but not as bad. If you damage the shingle right in the center of the valley and you have a leak that, rain, that could pose a serious issue. So just be careful when you're working near your valley. Be careful not to stand and puncture the valley too. You can actually tear the shingles walking right up the center of the valley. Man, we're 10:40 already. I'm supposed to just do an hour and get working on my servers. Oh, cool. Thank you guys. We gotten up to 33 likes with 20 viewers. Appreciate it. Well, it must not be very good info. I'm only getting a 7-minute, 20-second average view time. That's pretty bad. I appreciate that. Uh, what are we doing here? Dag on. Look at this. Nice. Sitting here trying to help out and I'm missing out. Uh, we on the 5-minute, yeah, boy. 20, 21, 9 o'clock. Had a nice little run right here. I mean, cement, rubber, not rubber, tar, wet cement, it will stop the leak, but it does get brittle and dries over time and cracks, so it will require some maintenance over time. If it's in a pinch, it'll work. It does work when it's wet too, but long term, I would try to shove a piece of metal over it or something under the row of shingles above where the nail is, and shove it up under there so you don't see it, but it covers it. Okay, so let's say you would put a nail in the middle of the valley, but you bowl under the valley. Okay, I know you're in Florida. My brother worked down there a little bit. Bowl. I was like, what's bowl? Apparently that's your tar. You guys call it bowl. So you put the bowl under the valley. Um, David, I'm not sure what exactly you're saying there with that. You mean like during the install, if you shoot the shingle right in the middle, but you've got bowl under it? I'm just trying to picture what you're talking about. I imagine you got a valley and you smeared tar, you guys call it bowl down in the south, and then you roof it and you shoot in the middle of the valley. Is it still going to leak? Maybe not right away, but it will over time. The nail will over time rust, and then it's going to eventually drip in around it, watering it out. So it's not a long-term thing I would not trust. Yeah, I don't get into a lot of that stuff when it comes to the pricing. Was that real KBTS? But I'll share a little bit of what I know. I still probably am way underpricing my repair work, but I've definitely significantly started increasing my cost. First thing I'll start to do is one, figure out what materials I'm going to need for the repair, and not forgetting things like truck, diesel, or gas. insurance, marketing, your time there, time back, setup, prep time, cleanup time. Also keep in mind, if you're doing something for a little bit of money, is it taking you away from doing a full install job? So then now you're down when you could be doing that. These are all things I've had to start figuring in and factoring in on repair work. Some of the repair work I've quoted recently, I'm like, holy shit, that was a lot. And people are still like, hey, I need you to do it. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't enough. But I'm just looking as I know what I would do a repair for myself at my house. But what you got to think, what value are you bringing that customer? If you're good and you're doing good quality work and it's valuable to them to not have to go out and do it, you know, you acquire a skill, you can charge good for it. So I can't really just give you an exact price. Markets change a lot. 1 hour away, same repair I might charge 1,200 bucks for, they're going to charge $4,000. Oh, did you send another video? Okay, it looks like you did send another one. I'll look at that here in just a minute. Hello from South Bend. All right, getting out there in the Indiana area. Jeff Phillips. I apologize. I think I briefly read this comment when it came in on a notification, a push notification on my phone, and then it got buried. Are there certain underalignments to use on non-vented attics such as double wide mobile home for shingles? Uh, to my knowledge, if it's an unvented attic, the paper you're going to use isn't necessarily made specific for that application in a sense, but you want some sort of airflow. And I know if it's already there and already built, there's not much you can do. Um, you want to make sure there's a small channel of air flowing above the insulation under the roof deck. It can come in, it can go out. So if you're doing an install, you can put ridge vent on. If you don't have soffit inlet or gable inlet vents and it's cathedral, you can add a strip vent on the bottom. I don't know what it's called. I've only seen a couple, but basically on the roof deck, just up above your interior wall, you can cut a slit into the roof deck. No, not a slit, but a channel. And there's a particular type of vent that lays on there. You'll shingle up, it goes down, and you shingle on there. It's just a little low profile area for air to come in. As far as your original question on what underalignment, aside of ice and water, synthetic paper, and black paper, those are the only really three that I know. You might be asking a question I can't help, so in that case, hopefully Rants or Us is still in here. Oh, it's a 312 pitch. That's a really low slope. I will say most manufacturers will not honor a shingle roof on a 312 pitch, although it can be done. I'll point out a few pointers to be aware of. And most manufacturers require ice and water. So you're probably referring to the self-adhering peel and stick ice and water, like Gray's ice and water, or any knockoff brand that will help with water backup, wind-driven rain, ice dam, things like that. Is this a roof you were doing or somebody had done for you? Um, so it's a hip house, I imagine, Justin Martinez, because you're saying there's no ridge, but he wants more ridge vent. If you don't have any ridges, you got like, or maybe have a section of ridge and you want more, be cautious on mixing different types of ventilation. Is that Henley? Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. I don't really do this for tips and donations, but it does truly help. Just trying to share what I know. Wow, I'm on 2 hours and 14 minutes now. Thank you. I appreciate it though. Um, Back to you, Justin. So if you've got a ridge vent and you've got box vents, they kind of cancel each other out in a sense because you don't have the air flowing up through the entire roof attic area. It's just going to kind of loop through. So make sure you're cautious on not mixing the wrong ventilations. If there is not enough ridge, you can stack box vents. LaGrange, Indiana. Huh. Another Indiana local native. I'm gonna actually have to Google that real quick. I'm kind of curious where LaGrange is. Oh, you're up there. Amish town. Shipshawana. Oh, are you near Napanee? Warsaw, Goshen, Bristol, Shipshawana. I have some friends up in I believe it's Napanee. Yeah, Napanee. Okay, there I found it. You're further northeast. Well, hello to you. Okay, sorry about the. So I'm just kind of going through when I figure my estimates, what I need to kind of think of, not necessarily for the price, but what not to forget. If you're asking more of a question on like how do I itemize it to the customer, I just put a description in my note section or type of repair I'm doing, and just spell out what I'm doing, and then I give a total price. I don't break it down and itemize it out in the sense of what types of materials I'm using, unless there are multiple repairs going on or different sections being worked on. Yeah, if it's like 3 areas of wind damage, I'm not going to say this for that, this for that. It's just going to be a total repair cost. If it's like a chimney and a skylight, I might break it down into chimney repair, skylight repair. If that gives you a little more of an answer on what you're asking. Okay, Justin, so less than 4 feet of ridge. Um, I'm not a fan exactly of power fans, but that can be a solution. I would probably just do away with the ridge vent and install a power fan and put on a humidistat. It will actually pull quite a bit of volume and pull a negative pressure to actually force fresh air into the little nooks and crannies. The only downside of that is that it requires power, it's another penetration, and they do go bad over time. Oh, 41 likes. I'm only showing 40, but thank you. I might have to go get another beer. It's getting too late for me to work on my servers now, so I might just when I wrap up, go to bed. Maybe watch a video and then go to bed. I got a lot of studying to do. 45 minutes from Napanee. We got a friend up in the Napanee area. Works at a school up there, superintendent. David, you talking about pre-cutting the lead or something? You say, like here you do 4 off the first, it's full, then just take 6 off the third and start over with a full. I think you're talking about making your pattern. If that's going to be more of like a racked in, I'm not a fan of that for nail placement. Baker, ridge vent or roof vent? My opinion, if I can do ridge, I try to do ridge, but there's a couple of things. Depending upon how much ridge you have and the slope of the roof are two factors on that. When you get 12-12 and steeper, by the time your roof facets come together, you need enough ridge cut open for it to vent properly, but then the radius, because you're now higher up and you're straddling the roof, it doesn't give you enough room to nail in your ridge vent and ridge cap. So I'm not a fan going much over a 12-12 pitch with ridge vent. I actually have a customer we're getting ready to hopefully start next week. Um, it's a 12-12. It's pretty steep. So, like, if we can keep your box vents, that would be ideal. And explain to him why the amount of, or the reduced area of nailing when you have a steep pitch roof. Have a good one. Good night. Looks like Ollie's out of here too. Uh, Real KBTS, thoughts on baffles? Beneficial? Waste of time? Most are 50-50 on they feel about them. Are you referring to baffles for insulation attic? Uh, Insulation to keep your insulation down coming over the walls? Thank you, David. Appreciate it. If you're referring to baffles in your attic for the insulation, yes, big fan. They do work. Insulation being blown in can go up under that little area where the roof converges, and it blocks that. It will really restrict the amount of airflow coming in from your soffit vents. You do want a nice steady flow of fresh air coming in for the heat to go out. If you're referring to something else as a baffle, let me know. Okay, so if they've got a power fan and it's not working, I'd probably just recommend replacing the power fan. If they've got power to it, just replace the power fan is going to probably be the simplest solution. And a cheap little hack, if you can find the right power fan, most of them are standard from the box stores now, they're the same. Thanks, David. Um, you can simply pull the dome off and you can, well, if they're cracked domes, you can do that. But I've also done this where you're able to pull the dome off and just pull the motor out and put the new motor in. But most of the time, it's just as easy to flat bar the shingles and pull the whole power fan out, reach in, disconnect it. Just be careful working with the power. If you're like me, just don't touch the wires or don't touch them together and you're good. Or pull the breaker, simple solution. Yeah, you can. I mean, that is another simple solution. Thanks, Mama. Just pull the insulation away, but it does float around in there. But I guess the reason I'm saying the baffles, a lot of times insulation companies will come in and recommend blowing insulation, or contractors that don't do insulation on an everyday basis will, oh yeah, we'll go blow it in there. But if you don't put the baffles in when they're blowing it, it clogs those up. There's been some times where vinyl soffit on the outside, and you're like, what is that debris coming out? And there are ventilation issues going on. You hook a piece of the soffit, you pop it down, you see insulation floating out. You can actually reach in and just push it back from the soffit side too. A lot of it depends on the pitch of the roof. Do you have attic access? What kind of soffit vent do you have? I've seen a lot of soffit vents, vinyl soffit vents, where if you pull it down, it's just got a solid piece of wood and they're not doing anything. Oh, you're talking about bat insulation, not baffles. I thought you said baffles. Could have swore. Yeah, baffles. Okay, you're talking about bat insulation. I really prefer blown in fiberglass, not cellulose. I hate cellulose. Oh yeah, bat insulation you can just simply pull and push. What I don't like about the bat insulation, you're only working with the set volume, whatever R value you're working on, but it may or may not make a perfect fit around items and things, or if you have plumbing pipes and different stuff. That's why I'm just a big fan of blown insulation. And again, fiberglass, not cellulose. Why the cellulose height, Barker? A couple of reasons. Cellulose is naturally flammable, just like a brown paper bag or a newspaper. So how they treat that to make it not flammable or as flammable is with chemicals, and those chemicals are not good health-wise, and they're not good to your plumbing, electrical wiring and stuff. It's actually corrosive. That's just not good. And the other, probably the biggest factor on top of all the dust and dirtiness is the fiberglass barbs actually hold up a lot better than the natural fiber of the cellulose. So if you blow like 20 inches of cellulose, you go back up a year or two later, it's going to have settled a ton. Whereas you do have some settling with fiberglass, not near as much. And the actual insulation value comes from the insulation due to the air gaps. to my knowledge, the time it takes for the air, the heat to radiate through that. So when you lose the thickness and the volume and the fluff of it, you lose your R value. If you take a big stack of insulation like this, cellulose, and you put a heat gun under it, and you put your hand on top of it in a controlled box, and you pack that same volume down to a tight, thin little film, do it again, it's going to radiate through quicker. So it's not that I necessarily hate cellulose, it's done good over the years, but fiberglass is a much better option. It's going to hold up and last a lot longer. Tyson. I think I get that question. Honestly, I can't believe it took 2 hours and 26 minutes to get asked that, but I don't think I have had one live stream where somebody hasn't asked about the safe combination. Sorry. Check my map here. Oh my gosh. What am I missing out? I'm missing out. Look at this. Oh, the things I give up. Real nice. Been wanting to buy all afternoon. Like, nope, I'm not gonna buy. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna get done with work. I'm gonna do a live stream. 52. It just went up 2 cents. Wow. I'm gonna run a number here real quick. Even at the start of the stream down here. Yeah. When I started the stream 2 hours ago, if I would have used one of my accounts that I had available and I would have bought 2 hours ago, I would have just made $1,000. Daggone. It's at 4%. It's a nice little move, nice little run. All right, sorry, Ollie, I'm not sure if you're still in here. I forgot to open up a second email. Whoopsie. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I think it's the same one. Same video. It looks like it's the same video. I got roofing nails in the safe. Yeah. Yeah, the cellulose is pretty corrosive stuff. Justin, that's a pretty good question. And if I can get a little more clarity on part of your question, uh, when you first started your business, I started mine 3 weeks ago. How do you get the confidence to give the customer the quote for the job? I always feel nervous. Uh, question, how are you giving your customers a quote? Is it like a paper, a PDF, email, verbal, text? And then what part of it makes you nervous? Are you just nervous the way they're going to respond to your quote? Tyson, I don't have guns. If you could message me real quick, Justin, elaborate a little more on why you're nervous. And cannons. I have bazookas. I have nail guns locked up. I got my prize in possession, my Hitachi nail gun, my first ever. Yeah, ammo is nails. I guess I'll try to answer your question. I don't know fully why you're nervous, unless you're just nervous of how they're going to act. I don't give written estimates. I mean, they're written, but they're not like handwritten. I'm completely digital, so it's all PDF. I email it over to them or have it on the iPad, so we can have that in-face one-on-one interaction. So I always have the iPad, I always have my laptop and my phone. My software works between all of them, so it's not an issue there. But I do email it to them so they have it, they can review it on their own terms, print it, whatever. It's just made life a lot easier. As far as the nervousness, I've never really been nervous. Um, you know, you figure something for what you think you need to cover your cost and turn a little profit, and it is what it is. If they don't like it, you may not hear back from them. Not sure on the nervous part. Just be confident. The more confident you are, the more, your customers gonna be like, wow, he knows what he's doing. He's confident what he's doing, and it will come with time. Yes and no, Martin. It depends. Like the house I was on this afternoon, if you saw that, I did do a remote sketch before I drove out to Logansport to do it. I could not get a street view, so I did not know the pitch. I just kind of had to guess based on the neighborhood. And I don't live there. I don't go into that town very often, so I guessed it as a 512 slope. Did the measurements and everything, drove up there to do a visual inspection and meet the guy. He actually found me on YouTube. That's how he heard about us. So I go up there to meet him, and then yes, it was a simple enough roof. I did go ahead and measure it. I wanted to kind of compare actual measurements to the inch versus the software, and it was pretty close. I think it was a handful of inches off on the height of the rake, and that's mainly because I factored in on my software a 512 pitch when it was really only a 412, so it was off slightly. And then the gable end was a little pixelated. I was maybe a foot off on the width, so within one square. But when you're doing it by hand, you're measuring every facet out. You can honestly be over or under more than that. It'd be pretty rare. 1929, the Great Collapse. I won't pull it up on screen, but I'll see if I've got it. I'll just glance through it. Oh, you didn't send it to me. You send it over to your customers because I don't see the email if you send it to me, unless you send it to my other email. Nope, not on that one. And I don't see it here. If you sent it to me, I didn't get it. A good way you can gauge, Justin, it's not a simple, you're going to find out tonight or tomorrow. It's going to take some time. But the more estimates you give out, if your closure rate goes dramatically down, you're either way overpriced or you could even be way underpriced. You want to be in that sweet spot. You just kind of track and gauge your closures. One of my old mentors back in the day, he's like, I don't shoot for closing any more than 20% because if you are, you're probably underpriced. And any less, you're overpriced and you may not be making enough profit to stay busy. Or, yeah, not enough volume to stay busy, but profit margin could be good. Yeah, if you're out there chasing volume and you're selling roofs every day, I mean, you could have reputations. Other factors could be a factor in it, but I don't want to have 40, 50% closure rate. The more you do, the more your overhead goes up. As another viewer of the channel says, Stay small, keep it all. Martin, what kind of software? My measuring is Roof Snap. I like using Roof Snap for my measuring. And then I also use Job Nimbus for my customer resource management. Exactly, Justin. Um, Constantly learn, do a good job on the install, whether you do it, your crew does it, or you sub it. Keep good quality control over it. Your reputation will start growing with that. Doing a good job keeping customers happy. As far as your closure rate, again, if you're not closing many, your price could be way out of whack. If you're getting a ton of calls, it's probably, or not necessarily a ton of calls. If you're getting a ton of closures, your price could be on the lower end. But I've actually lost jobs because my price was several thousand less than the competition, but that's because I was in another market I'm not used to working in. And like the Fishers and Carmel area, I had one guy tell me, he's like, you don't know what you're doing. You're 4,000 less than everybody else. I'm like, oh, okay. I appreciate the insight. I'm just going to raise my price in this market now. Dude, Martin, RiffSnap is really good software. I love it. If you're like me and you're more retail base, the software will save you a ton. If you're insurance, storm restoration, I wouldn't probably recommend it. I'd probably say get into more of Xactimate stuff. You just tried out Job Nimbus last week. What's your thoughts of it? I've got 4+ years in it, and I don't know what I'd do without it now. Justin, you don't send one. You're just asking in general, or are you talking about when I said do you send a PDF or email it? Oh, Justin, definitely. I mean, my closure rate right now, I don't know the exact number. I haven't done a report on it. It's because I'm using multiple pieces of software and it doesn't necessarily track closure versus estimates. But I can tell you just from kind of how busy I feel mentally on like the amount of estimates I'm giving versus what we're closing. Shit, back in like the summer, my closure rate was less than 5%. I went 2 months without selling a job. It was burning through my backlog. But that's fine. I mean, the prices were so volatile and out of whack. A lot of guys are like, "Oh yeah, I'm busy for 6, 9 months." Well, that's cool. One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to make way less profit than you thought because your material went up, or you're going to have to tell your customer, "Hey, thanks for waiting 6 months for me, but hey, the cost went up." So now the prices go up, I raise my price. The prices go up, I raise my price. And as other guys want to chase the volume, they can go for it. If I'm gonna be broke, I'm gonna be at home with my family. A 35 to 20% closure rate, I mean, I'd be happy with that. And honestly, let me give you another little tip. Hope none of my local people are watching, and if they are, not this far into this, but this has saved me a ton of headache. And a few of you other roofers may know exactly what I'm about to talk about. But if you got customers that are trying to be cheap, they're usually the worst customers, and they're not worth the headache. You'll gain experience with that, what I'm talking about. You'll have customers ask certain things that just raise a red flag. Job notices, when I started, it was only $25 a month. They did jump up to $50 a month, but the fact of what I like with Job Nimbus is the unlimited photos and storage. So every job I do, every job I go to, every estimate I go to, I document photos from every direction, any detail, it's there. I'm in a wide area, about an hour at least. So if somebody calls way later and I forgot about it, type in their name, their address, any key piece of information, it'll search that customer by all that. And you've got everything on file. That's why I like it. I attach my roof sketches to it, everything. The average cost per square right now in Indiana, I can't say in Indiana, but I can say in my local Kokomo market, I'm down to 330 and can't sell anything. for a standard ranch house, 1 layer walkable. So yeah, it's pitiful. I mean, I'm not lowering my price anymore. I'm actually up more than that now. Yeah, you go down just a county or two south and you're at 450, upwards of 450. Never would have thought. Still got 11, 15, 23 people in here. It seems like a lot, but you know, I'm kind of scared to know how many are going to join in a live chat in a year or two. Some of the crypto channels and the people I follow on YouTube, there's so many people, the chat's just scrolling right through. You can't even read them. A cheap customer's friend is another cheap customer. I've not heard that one. Tyson, you're just waiting to see the weapons. I'm not going to show those on YouTube. Are you a gun guy, Tyson? Oh, chat's getting slow in here. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. So even on your low end, we're still $50 or more less than you guys per square. So you can see how quick the profit margin gets eaten up. Oof, you're paying 269 for job numbers. You must have a few people in the field then, I imagine. Job Nimbus is $50 a month for me. Are you sure do you have multiple users? Yeah, quoting 4 to 6 jobs a week. That's not bad if it's just you. Well, I remember the days, God, it was a long time ago, one of my first companies. It was hard, trying to just pay friends and family and trying to build up a legitimate company, but you technically don't have all the stuff you should getting going. I remember those days. Yeah, I can't do that kind of work myself. I'd never get my estimates done. Martin, maybe that's it. It says growing 199. Dude, I'd check into that. I mean, I pay $50 a month, and if you have more users, there's more fees charged on. So if you have more estimators and they have their own login, that could drive the cost up. But dude, what market or where are you in the US or where are you at? What state? Justin, it depends. If I'm doing a full roof, I've got the guys doing all that. The repair work I mainly do unless it's a bigger repair than I can do myself. But there's some repair work that actually make more money on repairs than I do a full roof install. And you don't have the overhead and risk. Yeah, I was driving through Logansport heading to do a roof I did do a live stream on earlier, and I was talking about it. There's a section of town that I just don't like because they have multiple layers of roof. They're nasty, steep, 2-story, multi-layer on top of shake. And what do I see? Purlin's going across, and they're just prepping it for steel right over all their layers. I hate it. Matthew, how does a 35-year rated shingle actually last? It depends. I don't think, I mean, a 35-year shingle is not going to look new in 35 years, but there's factors that can make them wear out quicker. Um, Ventilation, pitch, weather, climate. Does it have a lot of shade on the roof at all times? There's going to be several factors. They're going to hold up pretty good, but I don't think they're going to get the full 35 or 50 years some of these companies are claiming. Yeah, as far as I know, Martin, they only have one plan. It's just a job nimbus plan per user, and if you have multiple users, you pay more. You might want to look into that. I think you're being charged more than you should. California, yeah, it's a SaaS, it's a software as a company service. So I don't think they're going to charge differently based on different states. So if you're in the US, I would reckon you'd pay the same fee as me, so $50 per user. And again, when I started, it was 25, but in my opinion, it's still worth it. The Roof Snap is $99 a month, and I that's totally worth it too. Yeah, Joshua, that's what I was saying to Justin earlier. I can make more on some of my repair work and be in and out in a couple hours as I can in the time it takes to do the estimate, set the job up, do the job, warranty the job for multiple years, all the overhead and risk of something going wrong. How much is that software, Martin? Thank you. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend yourself. Yeah, it's 11:20. I wanted to be on for an hour. Somehow I always do this. God, crypto's still going up. Oh, Tyson, what gun do you want to see, buddy? $89 per 3 months. That's pretty damn reasonable. I've not seen or heard of what is it exact model. I have to look into that. Tyson, I do not have a 9 mil. What makes me more money? It depends. I mean, I've made some good money on repairs. I've made some good money on roof replacements. Um, Repair work seems to always come in. I can make decent money doing that. If I'm slow, I'll take on more. If I'm busy, I'll take on less. And I kind of govern that by the price. Um, Profit margins can be way better on repair work, though. But I mean, I'm not going to pass up new jobs, new installs. One of my best new install, well, not new construction, but roof jobs I did. It was pretty good. It was a nice chunk of money. Yes, we also have QuickBooks too. QuickBooks keeps track of all the expenses and the accounting side of things. We use QuickBooks Online. Justin, just a little piece of advice. Keep track of all your expenses. Do it good because the IRS agents they're hiring this year is mind-blowing, and they're going to be cracking down on you and me, all of us, not the big companies. Huh. Inflation Reduction Act. Yeah, it's the stupidest name. Appreciate it, Don. Have a good weekend. Huh. Quicken to offline computers. Oh, yeah, everybody's now. I remember when I could buy QuickBooks and you owned it. No, now you gotta basically lease it from them. Same with Excel. Yeah, Joshua, I think what you're, yeah, every job is going to be a little different, and unique, so you can't just do a price per square. I mean, I have kind of a guideline of a price per square, but I actually use a spreadsheet that I created in Excel on my work laptop. That way, every job I know what it takes when I spit out my report of the roof sketch, and I plug those numbers in, and it populates, and then I know if I need to tweak it a little bit to get the profit that I need to make it justifiable to do the job. Mostly residential. I've done some commercial, but mostly residential. What did I say, Mama? Inflation. Oh, Production Act. Yeah, it's gonna make inflation worse. Am I hiring? No, not right now. We're gonna get one more good little push that I think should be able to handle. We're gonna go into a slow season. I'm gonna take a lot of time off this winter. I got a lot of other things I got going on. I'm really considering getting a salesman production type guy. I don't know. It just depends. Thank you, Justin. I don't know, you may have said earlier, where are you watching from? Oh, Texas. Checking out from Texas. Have a good one. Have a good weekend out there. Okay, yeah, you threw me off there, Mama. Yeah, people that think that this Inflation Reduction Act and the IRS agents going after these big companies is going to bring in revenue. It's going to bring in revenue, but it's also going to increase inflation dramatically because the large companies, if they have to pay more, they're not going to eat that. They're going to charge more and they're going to pass it on to you and me. So I don't think we've seen the highest of the inflation yet. And also, I'm pretty sure part of the way these agents are going to be paid is production too. So are they going to want to take on them, this little fish, this big mega company corporation, or are they going to go after the little guy, slap you with some fees, and bring in revenue? Still making money, yes, chilling a little bit more. Um, so years past when I started doing this to bring in a little more revenue, I did plow a little bit, but I'm getting away from that. I hate it. But I've also got some other companies and some other stuff I do, and also day trade. So honestly, I can just sit here and watch this guy right here and trade even right now while the markets are closed. Make some pretty good money doing that too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to bring anything down. It's going to make it worse. Hey, but I'm just a roofer. What do I know? Oh, 11:30. I should probably end it. Tyson, there's a message restricted. What? Why is there a message restricted from you? Oh, wait, never mind. It says retracted. What'd you say, buddy? I'm it's not gonna let me see what you said. Kind of curious what you said. Oh, show the guns again. I'll tell you what, if you want to see guns, go type in on YouTube Demolition Ranch. You'll see plenty of guns. And he's also in the Texas area for you Texas fans. Anyone in here know who I'm talking about? This guy's name's what? Matt? What is his last name? I can't think of it right off the top of my head. I just find it weird showing guns on YouTube. Oh, he wants to see these guns? No, these are just little strings. Tyson's probably like some local guy here in my hometown that doesn't like me, and he wants me to show a gun and then report my YouTube channel. Is that what it is, Tyson? I'm considering maybe showing you one. It's not in my safe though. I could show you one, I think. That's just because it's easy to get. But that wouldn't make it a very good roofing Q&A though. All right, it's getting slow. Viewer count going down, dropping off. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Probably should have ended it a while ago. God, we're almost at 3 hours. Yeah. Anyone in here still take a minute, go over the community tab, hit the poll, answer the poll question on what day works best for live Q&A. Backseat, he was talking about the New World Order. Who was? Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you, Martin. I have to write down your software you were talking about and look into a couple of those. Martin, I did do a video here real quick before I go. If you want to see it, I'll try to find it here and put a comment, uh, the link to it. Found it. Let me grab the link. Here, this is a short video I did last year. Maybe it was longer ago. I don't remember exactly. So, 2 years ago, September 14th of 2020. So a couple years ago. But that is a very brief overview video of Roof Sketch, or I'm sorry, Roof Snap on the Sketch tab. So it has a lot you can do with the software, but it's mainly sketches is all I use this for. It's a pretty short video, 15 minutes, but it goes through. One last question. One last question, Bagseed. Ooh, wow, I just caught a glimpse in my eyes. They're getting poofy. 4 and 5 hours sleep a night's not cutting it. Is it hard to roof in Oklahoma? I can honestly not truthfully answer that because I've not roofed in Oklahoma. Regarding wind-driven rain, I mean, wind-driven rain can happen anywhere you get wind and rain. Make sure when you're roofing it's sealed down good before you get storms and wind. And some of the factors, your pitch of the roof. Here in Kokomo, Indiana, central Indiana area, have not had much of a wind-driven rain issue. Every now and then we'll get more leak calls when it's a windy rain coming from a different direction, or a low slope pitch roof and it's blowing up under a pipe boot, but not typical in my area. Oh, my voice is about to go out. Guys, I appreciate it. Appreciate the two people that sent in the tips there. Like I said, go into the community tab, click on the poll, let me know. Have I ever shot anything, Tyson? I bought him from the flea market. Oh, anyone. Okay, sorry. I thought you said anything. Oh, sorry, Bagseat. I thought you were being serious about is it hard to roof in Oklahoma? I guess it could be hot. Tyson, no, I have not shot anyone. I came close one time about 17 years ago to pulling my pistol on a group of people that were getting ready to rob me, surround me, bike jack me, whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm in a office chair. I'm just slouching over now. Oh, God, my eyes are that bad. You were talking about Tyson. Yeah. All right, it's time to go. Maybe I'll catch a good trade tomorrow. All right, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you chiming in, taking the time out of your day. Hmm. Well, actually, let me check that real quick. I want to see what the community tab poll here. Okay, so this was just refresh. What was the best night for live Q&A? Got 396 votes. 61% say Friday. 24% say Wednesday, and 15% say Monday. So it looks like Monday's out. Wednesday was another night that kind of works, and 61% say Friday. By the way, let me pull this down real quick, just because this is pretty classic. What do you think of that? Not going to quite show it all. Scott W. sent that over to me, and I had to share it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Seriously, people, I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, but I need to get